in the meantime. So,
all right, well, let's bring him on. I see him here.
All right.
Good evening, Henry Ramirez. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Good to have you back with us again. Last time you were on with us, we had a really good time with you.
It's a pleasure to be back. It's a pleasure to be back.
Well, we're really, really hoping to talk to Chris, obviously. And usually he responds right back when I text him. But I think a lot of what we wanted to talk to him about, I think we could just talk to you about. So I think we'll still get some good stuff for all the listeners tonight.
Right.
All right. So Jay, you want to open up? Because I know you had some questions about the whole Alabama press conference and all that.
Yes, I must ask, Henry, what happened with the Alabama press conference? Why did we have Chris on closed circuit TV for the Alabama press conference?
Because there was some going back and forth as to whether we were going to fly out and be a part of it, and ultimately it was just decided that we weren't, that we were just going to be on Skype, and he was fine with us. You know what I mean? If we would have had to have flown out, great. The fact that we did it, even better. We didn't want to lose out on a day of training, being that, we got a call, not in a full, well, not the full amount of time I would have wanted, but, hey, opportunity came up, you got to take it.
Absolutely.
So.
As the census fight has been announced, shout out to RB, who made the call initially saying that Chris Arreola would likely be the next opponent. Your girl over there match made this fight for you, just so you know.
I just, I had received a call about this possibly happening on the way to a Dodger and Angel game. It was a Monday, and actually Chris was in the car with me, and we were stuck in traffic, and I didn't even notice the phone had rang, and I seen that I had 3 missed calls, and then another call was coming in, and it said no caller ID, and I looked over at Chris. I said, "This is Al, trust me." And then at that point in time, he didn't say we were getting it, but he just said, "How soon could you get to camp?" And I said, "Well, how soon are we talking about fighting?" And he said, "Well, there's some things going on, and, it could be Wilder." And so literally we were in camp about 10 to 12 days later.
There have been a number of critics who say that Chris is undeserving of another title shot, but in the same respect, Wilder paid a great deal of respect to Chris and the team, saying that he knew this was a fighter that would bring not only his heart, but have the ability to sell tickets. Could you respond to the critics of Chris receiving this fight and also his ability to sell?
Could care less. Could care less if people like the fight. Could care less. Put themselves in my shoes. Opportunity for your fighter who just came off an injury, who was supposed to fight Dominic Brazil, and here's the opportunity to fight for the world title on 7.5 weeks notice. Hey, we jumped at it. Could care less if somebody's pissed off about it. They'd probably do the same if they were in my shoes, I'd make zero apologies about getting this fight.
You have to jump at opportunities like this. And like you said, you guys were scheduled at one point to fight Brazil in April. Chris goes and fractured his ankle. How the hell did he do that?
He rolled his ankle stepping out of the car between the concrete and the driveway and the grass. I mean, only Chris. No, and here's the crazy thing. It happens the day after I come down to San Diego, get the camp house situated, get the boxing gym situated. So I'm on I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, March 3rd. I come down here, get everything situated to start Monday the 7th. Well, on, I think Friday or Saturday, he sends me a picture of his foot. And I said, "What the fuck is that?" He said, "That's my foot." And I said, "Oh." So I immediately took him to get an X-ray on Monday, and I knew the fight was off.
Oh my God!
Dominic Brazil was underneath that car. He snatched Chris's ankle when he got out of the car.
Hey, you know what's crazy though? Look what happened though. Both guys turned that delayed fight into, regardless of how it happened, both guys parlayed this fight that was going to be April 30th on the Ortiz-Berto card to title fights. Granted, they're both big underdogs, and nobody expects that much out of either one. Hey, both of them are in the mix, you know?
That's right.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you, Al.
Yep, you got to thank Al.
Thank God. So, look, okay, and I wanted to ask Chris this, but I'll ask you this. You'll probably give it a lot more honest answer. Does his career depend on winning this fight against Wilder? I mean, if he loses, is it retirement?
I don't know. You know, I don't think we've thought about that. You know, this training camp had to get put together rather quickly. Haven't given ourselves any time to think about that. The whole focus is on getting in shape for winning this fight. There hasn't been any time to think about, if we do this or if we do that. Not even thinking about that. The mindset is to get ready and to get out there and, you know, beat Wilder. You know, not an easy task, not impossible though.
Definitely. In the past, Chris has been pretty critical of Wilder's abilities, and now he says that he is firmly a believer. What do you think made Chris really become that believer?
I think it was more when he was on the way up. You know what I mean? I think like everybody else, when he beat Stavern, I think it answered a lot of questions, or at least answered some questions to some people. You know, you're never going to please everybody. But I think, and even myself, you know, when he beat Stavern, I was like, wow, you know, you really got to give it to him. You know, he beat a solid fighter in Stavern. And then, you know, he's had some, he's had, I think, 3 title defenses. You know, in each fight, he's won. But in each fight, has he shown some vulnerability? Yeah, absolutely. But he's also shown the ability to rescue himself and, you know, to kind of navigate his way through some little rough patches in every little fight. You know, and there's something to be said for that. You know, and in other people's eyes, he never should have been through those rough waters with the people he was fighting. So, it's, you know, you're never going to please anybody, you know.
Right.
So we're not going to ask you for a game plan. That's silly. But as a trainer, I would like to get some stuff out of you. So when you see Deontay Wilder as a trainer, can you give me, like, one flaw that you see? I mean, all fighters have flaws, but is there a flaw that really sticks out? Like, you know, is he clumsy? Does he have bad footwork? What do you see as being a flaw?
There's a couple, but I'm really not going to share anything.
Can you give us one of his strengths?
Yeah, he's got a great right hand. He's got a great right hand and an improving jab.
So, Jeandra, you want to talk about Wilder at the press conference?
Yeah, it was interesting watching Wilder at the press conference. He seemed not like his usual self. He's usually pretty out there and loud and begging and charismatic, but he just didn't seem like that guy at the press conference. Is that something you all noticed?
I mean, I just think both guys are very respectful towards each other. You know, Chris usually needs to get fired up and, you know, talk a little junk too. But no, it just seemed like both guys were respectful of each other. You know, I mean, situations happen. You know, maybe, you know, he's still thinking about the Povetkin fight that, you know, slipped through his hands, you know, through no fault of his own. You know what I mean? But I did notice that, but who knows? I'm sure these guys get ready closer to fight time. The juices will get flowing, and both guys come out there and, you know, put out their best.
As someone who is a trainer and you're with fighters all the time, what's it like when that happens to a fighter? You are set and you're training for this fight. What does that do to fighters mentally when those fights fall apart?
You know what, man? I've never really had a fight like that fall. Fortunately, you know, I've been the beneficiary of fights falling out. You know, when Berto and when Berto and Ortiz were going to have their initial rematch in June of 2012, Lopez at the time was with us, was getting ready. We were getting him ready to fight Kendall Holt on ESPN, and Kendall Holt was kind of balking at the fight because it was going to be here in Southern California in the heat. And so while he was busy kind of pondering what he was going to do, the Berto Ortiz thing happened, and then, you know, obviously the Berto fell out with the steroid suspension or dirty test, and we were offered the fight, and we jumped at it. You know, so I've always been on that side, but to have a major fight fall out, I've never had that really. But I'm sure it can be really, you know, something that can really affect the fighter, especially, you know, with the type of fight that it was expected to be, Povetkin and Wilder.
You and Chris have been together for so long. What is the secret that you all have to stay with each other? We see so many teams that fall apart, father-son duels, long-time duels, but you and Chris still hang in there and you guys make it happen.
Listen, there's nobody that can deal with this guy, trust me. You know, my relationship is not only boxing, but there's just so much stuff outside the ring, you know.
And you know what, Henry, sometimes you catch heat for that, and I'm like, well, what do they want you to do? I mean, he's not your son. I mean, you guys are close like that, but what do they want you to do? They want you to, like, lock him down or what?
Listen, Chris Arreola is the type of guy where if he really don't want to do something, there's not a person walking the face of the earth who's going to tell him different. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But, you know, when we get here, when we get to camp, there's really not a lot of pushing and much we got to do. He's pretty self-motivated. He knows when we're here at camp, it's time to work, and he's working. You know what I mean? But, you know, I mean, training at home in Riverside is just not an option ever. You know what I mean? For him, ever.
Going away works best. You know, and we were going to talk a little bit about training because we know he likes to turn up, but we also know he is getting a little older, and going away, you know, is a way for him to dedicate himself to camp. But why has training always been so challenging for him? Because, you know, if we were going to make $200,000 to fight, you know, I feel like I would get up and run every day. I mean, I just don't know why training has always been such a challenge.
Because Chris is determined to make things as difficult as possible for himself.
He's his worst enemy.
But he'll tell you, by far, you know, don't get me wrong, there's been some camps that were great. You know, the Seth Mitchell camp, even the Travis Kaufman camp, that was a good camp. The Chaz Witherspoon was a great camp. Jamil McCline, that was a good, you know, when we fought them. And then there's been other fights we had where, like, they were shitty. You know, and there was some fights where I told him, listen, there was one fight in particular, I don't know, he might have showed up 10, 11 days and 7 weeks. You're going to get your ass kicked, and you deserve it. And that was the first of run fight. And I remember telling Dan Goosen the same thing. So Dan, he's going to get his ass kicked, and that's what he deserves.
Yeah.
He trained about 12 days and 7 or 8 weeks.
Wow.
What can we expect him to weigh?
You know what the most amazing thing was? That on the limited training he went, and believe me, I mean limited, he went 12 rounds and fought 9 of them with a broken nose. Crazy. I don't even know how. I have no clue how.
What can we expect him to weigh? What can we expect him to weigh for this fight?
I would say about 42 to 43, right around there.
That's not too bad. Too bad. He's training. We know you guys are training down there in San Diego at the House of Boxing. Canelo trains down there. Have you all had spend any time just around Canelo? Obviously, they're not working together, but
no, they don't. No, he doesn't train there. They use that for like his media workouts in San Diego. We've trained here before. We trained here for the Berminster rematch. Which, by the way, he trained very, very good for that fight. You know, just the fight where he got caught. But no, we've trained here at the House of Boxing prior. Great atmosphere. You know, we train from like 11 to 1:30, and then we have our strength and conditioning in the evenings. But no, we haven't run into Canelo or his team. Not here.
I saw that Chris posted a picture on his Instagram where he mentioned that Alfredo Angulo and Antonio Orozco were also down there at the House of Boxing. Are we going to be seeing Alfredo Angulo in the ring?
This is Orozco's home gym. This is where he trains at all the time. He's trained by Carlos Barragan and Carlos Barragan Sr. But yeah, Angulo is down here training, he trains from 1 p.m. on. So we
What's
see him
he training
basically
for,
every
Henry?
day.
What's he, Henry? What's he training for?
You got to fight?
I don't know. I know he's fighting.
Well,
but
is he fighting at middleweight?
Give us the word of curve.
I don't know, guys. I don't really ask. We do our work, and then obviously we shoot the shit with them, and talk to him and his team that he's there with.
Henry, we were going to make you our San Diego correspondent. You got to find out the word for us.
She said San Diego correspondent, but I'm a Riverside guy.
Just as we're about to wrap up with you, I get a text message from Chris saying, I just got a movie. I'm so very sorry. I'll make it up to you guys. When can I do it? He is funny.
Right now.
Tell him Henry's filling in for you. He said to fuck off.
I did say that, but I didn't say fuck off. Let me see. He said, I just watched the Dora movie. What is the Dory movie?
With Finding Dory, like Finding Nemo. It's probably pretty good. Ellen DeGeneres is voicing it.
I'm telling him what Henry said.
Yeah, tell him to come on and we're going to talk about Finding Dory. We're going to ask him if he found Dory.
Okay. All right.
Well, Henry, you are always fantastic. We always appreciate you coming in. Always the man, jumping in, saving, the pinch hitter. The last time we had you on, you were pinch hitting for us that day, too. So thank you again. You are a lifesaver.
No problem. You guys take care, and let's try to arrange Chris next week, and hopefully he doesn't go to the damn movies. I had a feeling because he loves the movies, and I said, I wonder if he's at the damn movies. Sure enough.
Please.
All right. Thanks, Henry. We appreciate you.
No problem. Take care.